Hey, it's Jag. Todd's not here today.
Leave a message after the beep.
Yeah.
Well, like we said in the last video, Todd can't be in for a couple weeks. Actually, it is a couple weeks later, and he is available, but just not today. At any rate, today I want to start making the outer milling jig. I don't think I'll get to the inner milling jig for the drum today. But I am going to start building the milling jig for the outside of the shell. Hopefully I'll get that done today. So I need to start by making a frame that will clamp down on the router table that we can then roll the shell around. So I need to start by making that base frame. And to do that, I'm going to use some of this. I have some of these sticks of oak that I've had for quite a while drying out here. They're very stable, haven't moved, and I'm not really too worried if they do because we're probably only doing 1 or 2 drums anyway. So this should be enough stock for me to make the frame. I'm going to start by milling all of these down to 1 5/8 inch thick or 1 5/8 inch high. That's an arbitrary number. The only reason I chose that is this one is the shortest one and it's just under 2 inches. So we're going to trim these down and then I will get the crosscut sled out and we'll cut them all to length. All right, next I'm going to cut what will be the front and back of the frame to its width. Again, it's largely arbitrary how wide or deep I cut those. I'm going to cut them 2 3/8 inches, basically because the narrowest one is just a little bit under 2.5 inches already anyway. So again, that dimension doesn't matter much, just trimming everything up so that when I put the rectangle for the base together, I can fit everything a little bit more accurately. That will be a bit more important. That last stick is 1 5/8 inches wide. Again, just because that was pretty close to what it was already, I just milled the edges smooth. I need 2 pieces that will go on the sides. They'll be the side stretchers for the jig. And they need to be 10 inches long. Again, not super critical. I want them both exactly the same length to make this as square as possible. But if it's a hair over or under 10 inches, it's not a big deal. I did strike a line at 10 inches on this and put a stop block on my crosscut sled. And so I should end up with 2 pieces pretty close to 10 inches long. So I'm going to cut those next, and then we'll get to the front and back stretchers. So the stretchers for the front and the back need to be 2 feet wide. That's a little too long for a stop block on my crosscut sled. So I struck a line at 2 feet on each one of them. And we'll just trim those off. And then we have all the pieces cut for the main frame, the base frame we'll call it. Well, now that I've got the basic frame cut, everything's measured right, the corners are nice and square, I'm going to glue and screw this together. So what I want to do is put 1 screw sort of dead center on each side of the front and back stretcher. Then I will glue these and 1 screw to hold that all tight together. I wanted to make it quick and easy to drill this hole in these front and back stretchers. So what I did over here on my drill press, I took one of my corner clamps, I lined the first stretcher up so the bit would go right where I want it. This is just going to be a pilot hole. And then I clamp down one of my corner squares so that I can just butt this in right against there, drill all 4 holes really quick and easy. So that should not take too long at all. So once I've got those pilot holes drilled, I'm going to countersink a 3/8 inch hole with a Forstner bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch deep, just to give the screws that I'm using, these I think they're 3-inch screws, just a little more room to bite into the side stretcher, and I will glue and screw those together. Well, I probably didn't invent that trick with the corner clamp, but it's new to me. I came up with it on my own, and it worked really, really well. These are really accurate, really well centered. Again, it's shop furniture. It doesn't really matter how accurate it is. It's just something I like to practice whenever I can, and it turned out great. 11/64 hole for these screws. Just lets them just slide through. We'll drill probably an 1/8 inch hole into the side stretchers, and glue that up, screw it together, and give it half an hour or an hour to dry up before we get on to the next part. I don't have a drill bit long enough to go through this rear piece and into the side piece, so I'm going to have to use transfer punch to make a hole, and then hope I can drill relatively straight in on the other side. I'd really like this to meet up really, really flush, mainly because I want to clamp this down to the table, so having it as flat as possible is great. Actually, I do have a long 1/8 inch bit for doing work on guitars, so I'm going to use that to drill the hole through here. I'm going to clamp this down flat. I don't know, that might be a little bit of overkill, and then just drill that hole to whatever depth I need. I guess it's about 3 inches. All right, well, I did drill those holes and glued it up, tightened everything. It's all square, flat, does not rock one end to the other at all. I checked it with my square. All the corners are looking really good. So the base of the jig is done and ready to go. So now I need to cut the sides. To do that, I've got a chunk of this leftover butcher block countertop from a project I did a year or two ago. And what I need is I need 2 side risers to put the threaded rod that will carry the drum shell. And I need those to be 10 inches wide. They're actually going to fit right in here. And they need to be about 8.5 inches high. I'll be drilling a hole for the threaded rod to go through there to hold the shell just high enough over the router so we can do the final shaping of that and the final, get it down to the final diameter. So first thing I'm going to do is rip this down to a piece 8.5 inches wide, and then I can cut the 2 10-inch pieces that I need. So there we are. That's the main part of the outside milling jig done. I just need to get these fastened in place. I need to put a hole in exactly the same spot as on both of these. I want the rod to be as close to perfectly parallel to the router tabletop as possible. So I need to drill 2 holes in here. They need to be centered at about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch greater than the radius of the shell. The shell right now is about 14 1/8 or 14 1/4. I'm going to center this at about 7 3/8 inches, which gives me roughly the ability to accommodate the shell up to about 14 3/4, which it's not anywhere near that. That should leave me about, in my calculations, about a 1/2 inch. The shell will be off the table when we start. When it's done, it will be somewhere around 3/4 inch off the table. I don't know. The whole math, when you start factoring in diameters and radiuses and stuff, my mind starts to boggle a little bit. But I think I've got it pretty much nailed down now. So I am going to drill those holes at exactly the same spot in both of these. What I'm going to do is probably double side tape them or super glue and tape them, and then drill right through both of them. That way my drill press is square in all directions, so I think that's going to be my best bet for getting the hole in exactly the same place. And I'm going to make the hole just big enough to accommodate the threaded rod. It'll be a very snug fit through, and what I'm hoping is that, at least for this first one, with the weight of the drum on it, that the threads will actually carry the shell across. If not, what my plan to do is take a nut, put it in a block of wood, and then I can screw that on at one end of the jig, and then that will allow the threads to carry everything through. That's my plan at the moment anyway. So first thing is to get these drilled. So the outside thread on this is 15-30 seconds. I do have a brad point bit, 15-30 seconds. We'll go with that. Take it nice and easy and make a good clean hole through there. Looks like a pilot hole of about a 1/16 of an inch will be exactly right for the point of that bit. So yeah, that's threading in there, and that's good. I'm happy with that. If I need to, I can enlarge it later. To the bottom of that hole, we are just a hair over 7 1/8. We're probably about 7 5/16 there. Let's see what this side looks like. And we're about 7 5/16 there. So this is going to work really well. So next thing I got to do is separate these and then get them screwed into the base. So I glued the frame, the main bottom frame together. I'm not going to glue these in, at least not yet, because I want to be able to shift or move or trim these down or even replace them if it's not working exactly the way that I planned. You know, if the shell can't go low enough or goes too low or something, I may need to change where those holes are. So for now, I'm just going to screw these into the base, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably go with 5 screws across the bottom. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5 screws across the bottom and into the middle of the frame again. So I am going to, geez, I should have done that before I took this apart. Oh well. I'm going to drill those and then screw this together, and then we'll see how the rod goes through and see what we're looking like as far as level to the table. that's the main jig made. Let's take a look and see where we're at with the centering of this rod. It's centered right at about 7 3/8 there. And yeah, 7 3/8, definitely close enough. A little bit of out here or there I don't think is going to be a huge problem. It will clamp onto the router table like this. We'll make sure we get it pretty well centered over the cutter. And then the shell will go on here, and as we turn, this rod will thread through here and carry the shell across. So there will be two wheels that are a little less than the final diameter we want the drum to be that will hold the shell. They will clamp the shell. They'll be screwed tight to this rod so that they can't turn on the rod. The rod itself needs to carry everything through. We'll also have 4 bolts just to add extra clamping pressure on the outside of the toward the outside of the shell so it can't slip. And then we will roll that across the cutter to finalize the outer shell. I think those are going to be probably a 13 3/4 inch diameter, maybe 13 5/8, maybe a full 1/4 inch less than the diameter of the finished drum shell itself. So that's it for this one. Next one, Todd will be back. So might have things go a little quicker with 2 of us working on it. After we do that, we are going to have to still do the inside milling jig. Although once we get this done, maybe what we'll do is jump right to milling the outside, and then we'll make the inside milling jig and do that. We'll see. Leave a comment below. Let me know which you'd rather see us do. Like always, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Ring the bell so you don't miss the next video in this series. Check my band, One Soul Thrust. The links are in the description below as always. And until the next video, we'll see you.